Alright guys, Dapper here with some more replay. It has been a while since I've uploaded, but you know, it's been a lot going on in Pioneer format, and as you know, the community won and got Sorin banned from Pioneer. So now, first and foremost, we're not going anywhere. We, as a Vampires community, we are not going anywhere. So what happens when something gets banned? What happens when something affects your deck? You don't abandon ship. You keep progressing. You keep trying to build forward. So the build that I'm going to be presenting is a mono black devotion list. It's very controlling and tempo-y and mid-rangey, but that's the kind of style of deck that I play. So we're going to go into a few matches, let you see how the deck plays before I do anything in regards of showing somewhat of a deck tech. This deck is untested in leagues as of now because we've just been doing some practicing, but me and the guys in the chat, we're certainly trying to push forward and get something out there. So sharing an OBS stuff is a little weird, but we're just going to try our best to get this thing going so you guys can see some content. So we're starting off here. Alright, not bad. So if you've seen any typical mono black devotion list, this is somewhat similar. Let's go ahead and keep that. There we go. So can't necessarily remember who I'm playing at this point, but as I remember, you guys will know. Thoughtseize, of course, they're taking Vein Ripper. Of course, that's what they should have taken. So we're not going to be too upset about that. Nissa, Resurgent Animus. This is a very annoying card, but it's a great card for the opponent. Let's get out a Nighthawk Scavenger. Give them something to get rid of. We don't want them to get rid of Bloodletter, just due to the fact that it's got 3 black pips and Nighthawk has 2, so it's perfectly fine if they want to snipe off Nighthawk Scavenger. You know the format like Pioneer people, that anytime they see a creature, they go ballistic and feel like they have to kill it right away. So we're going to let our opponents do that if that's what they want to do. I'm going to go no block here. Now we're going to get out Bloodletter. Bloodletter is absolutely amazing in this list. If you're playing any type of mono black devotion, I think that it can work well, whether you're going to run a Vampires package or not. I'm going to push Nissa. This one's looking like it's over. So yeah, that was over. That was not a good game for us. So now we're going to move on to game number 2. Alright guys, here we are, game number 2. Let's go ahead and get started with the replay here. We're going to be on the play, taking a mulligan. Starting off with the swamp. So Phyrexian Arena is huge for us. And like I said, we're going to get to the deck tech here in a bit. And this deck could absolutely change, but that's what we're testing for. I'm going to go ahead and get Phyrexian Arena out. We're included 3 in the list because we don't necessarily need that 4th one. I feel like you want 4 if you want it every single game, 3 if you want it, but you can live without it. So that's kind of where Phyrexian Arena lands in this list. Very useful. It's a great tool, but it also comes down to the fact that if you've already got 1 out, do you really need another? So that's why we have landed on 3. I'm going to triumph this guy, and we're going to get the card draw going. Vein Ripper is out based off of Nykthos. So now you're seeing the deck operate the way that it needs to operate. We are about to start rocking and freaking rolling out here. They cast the End, which is perfectly fine. Once again, like, we don't necessarily care if they kill our things off as long as we're ending up in a more advantageous state. It's okay for them to kill things. Okay, replay slowed down a little bit, Bloodletter. And then of course they're going to end up taking more damage here, so let's go ahead and pause this replay really quick. so that we can read the text on Bloodletter of Aclazotz. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. And of course, these stack. So guys, if you have out multiple Bloodletters, absolutely huge. The opponent is going to be at a major disadvantage. And here, extinction event. Getting rid of all the evens, which once again, that's also fine. And now we've got another Bloodletter of Aclazotz, so this is about to be GG for the opponent here. They're going to lose 10 life, go to -2. Game is over. Time to go to game number 3. Alright, game number 3. Let's get into it. Get going with the replay. Started off, did not like that hand, got to get rid of it. This is a decent hand. We've got Hive, we've got the End, we've got Gifted Aetherborn. We knew that they were going to take Vein Ripper once again. That's fine. Take what you want to take. We've got Edict up or an Aetherborn. Probably just going to snipe off whatever they throw out there because they're going to be very excited to play something. So let's go ahead and get this crap out of here with an Edict. Play up an Aetherborn. We sided in, cut down into our sideboard. Well, from our sideboard rather. So now it's time to get started gaining some life. They snipe it down. We play another. They get rid of it. So once again, they're using a lot of their resources early game, which is fine because our payoffs, in my opinion, are a little bit better than their payoffs. Also, we really don't care too much about loss of life because lots of the creatures that we have in this deck gain us life of some sort. Vein Ripper gains us life. Gifted Aetherborn gains us life. Nighthawk Scavenger gains us life. Got a Vein Ripper in hand. So now, they're getting to the point of the game where they are about to be in trouble. We're just simply passing the turns here. I'm going to play this Gifted Aetherborn. Thoughtseize these people. Get rid of their pick your poison. So they can't snipe down. Well, they can't cause us to sacrifice a Vein Ripper. Let's Thoughtseize them again. Get rid of Nissa. So now it's time for us to play out our big boy. That's right, we're still casting Vein Rippers. We're still winning games with Vein Ripper. Vein Ripper is a fantastic payoff card. It's not the only payoff card that we have, but it is one of our fantastic payoff cards. Alright, so that was match number 1 that I'm going to show you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. Alright, so time for a pretty quick deck tech here. We're going to be showing off the main board first, followed off with the sideboard that we have. Trying to get everything situated here so that you guys can see properly. I think you guys will be able to see pretty well. Mana base, 23 lands. 23 lands is going to be perfect for this list. A lot of the lists that I've been working on, I've been messing around with 24. But given the fact that we're running Nykthos in here, we're just going to rock with 23. 23 gives us everything that we need. So this is based off of a Mono Black Devotion list. So Mono Black Devotion, you know, the payoffs are beaters at the end. Same for us, beaters at the end with a vampire sub theme because this is what I do. I make content around vampires. Vampires is my favorite tribe, that along with merfolk. So vampires is highly underrepresented, even though we know about the Rakdos vampires, man. We know about that. That was huge for Pioneer, but you know, Sorin is gone now, much to everyone's happiness, you know. So they got what a lot of people got what they wanted, but it doesn't mean that the deck does not evolve. The deck is not going to die, at least if I have anything to do with it, along with members in the Discord community. So let's go over our mana base. We're running 1 Urborg, 1 Takenuma, 13 Swamp, 2 Nykthos, 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 2 Cavern of Souls for control matchups, and 2 Castle Lockthwain. we're rarely ever dealing with the tapped land. The only time a land might come in tapped is going to be Hive, and that's just based off if it's a late game Hive. Other than that, you get the functionality of everything. You get card draw from Castle, you get uncounterability with Cavern, you get man land with Hive of the Eye Tyrant, you get your devotion payoffs with Nykthos, Swamps, Takenumi, discard the thing, return something back. Excellent if you've already got, say, a Ripper, Bloodletter of Aclazot's Sheoldred. Oh yeah, that Sheoldred in the graveyard. It's going to be excellent. You've got your interaction package here, which is pretty standard for the list that I make. This is Pioneer, folks. You got to have some type of interaction package. With all of this combo crap running around, other big mana strategies, you got to have some ways to disrupt your opponent. I think you can commit a lot of things to the board, but then you end up running the risk of getting ran over with wrath effects, or your creatures maybe not doing as much as you want them to do. It can be difficult at times. I know that we have a really great deck builder in the Discord running Black White, and he's more creature focused, and he's been having a lot of success. So like I said, Vampires is simply pivoting. So for me, I'm running 4 Push, 4 Thoughtseize. Of course, these are the staples. These will always be in the list that I like to make. We're running 2 Bitter Triumph, 2 Sheoldred's Edict, and if you want to count Murderous Rider, that also counts there. So let's talk about our creature package. We're running 22 creatures, a little bit more than typical mono black devotion, but that's because our creatures do a little bit more. 4 Gifted Aetherborns. This is going to be a similarity between a typical mono black devotion list. Death Touch, Lifelink. You got to do something. You commit something to the board, and Pioneer, it has to have a payoff. Death Touch, Lifelink, payoff. Preacher of the Schism. Need I say anymore? One of the best vampires printed, one of the best vampires that we have access to. Death Touch, and of course, it can draw cards and can create dorks. Murderous Rider, destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. As I said, we don't give a crap about losing life. This thing is great. 2 extra pips of black mana sets us up great for Nykthos. Let's move on. Nighthawk Scavenger, flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Need I say more? Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. It can get huge. 9 times out of 10 when I'm casting this guy, it's already a 5/3. So what does that mean? As you saw in the previous game, I don't care if someone kills our crap. I'd rather you kill Nighthawk Scavenger than try to kill Bloodletter of Aclazot's or Vein Ripper. You know? Phyrexian Arena, absolutely love this card, giving us some card draw, losing a little life, which is fine. We don't care. We have ways to get life, but most importantly, we're drawing the card, and second most importantly, 2 black pips in the mana cost. Next up, Bloodletter of Aclazot's. Probably, I'm willing to say, next to Vein Ripper, I think this is the best creature in the deck, and I don't think it's a question about it. We're dealing with a 4-costed 3 black pips for a vampire demon. Flying, if an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. That thing is goated. Goated, like I said, instant effect. Once it hits the battlefield, things are going to happen, especially if we've already got things going. So typically, I don't want to cast this too early in the game. I want to have a couple of creatures on the battlefield so that when it does hit, it's going to make a difference immediately. Sheoldred, ETB effect with Menace, and it flips. So look at all the effects that we're generating throughout with this list. That is very important to me. And Pioneer is too much crap going on to be committing stuff to the battlefield that ain't giving you jack down the line. So let's talk about Sheoldred. This is not your 4 mana Sheoldred. This is the 5 mana Sheoldred, and in my opinion, this fits this list that I want to play. 5 CMC, legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, Menace. When Sheoldred enters, what? Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or a planeswalker. This is another Edict effect. This is all about mono black devotion. For me, is all about sniping things down, creating value for myself, and withering your opponent away. This is a removal spell. Then you can exile this guy and destroy some more crap, make folks discard crap, and then bring creatures back. GOAT. We're running 2. It's not necessary in our game plan, but it also provides us another way out. Last but not least, Vein Ripper. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Vein Ripper is one of my favorite vampires of all time. You've got Vein Ripper, Night Veil Predator, Preacher of the Schism. These are my top 3 vampires of all time, and absolutely love them. So next, let's move into the current sideboard. This might change, so if it changes, it just changes. Hopefully, let's see if you guys, I'm trying to make it so that you guys can see, because I know my screen cuts off from OBS. If you guys can't see this, then let me know in the comments somewhere. Okay, so right now, I'm running 3 cut down, destroy target creature, total power and toughness 5 or less. This is for your low to the ground aggro matchups. Gotta have something out there. This is for tokens. Joker's doing stuff with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Let's snipe those down too. And usually I find out about kind of what our opponent's doing after that initial matchup. So I kind of roll from there and kind of take it from there. Necromentia, stripping crap from people. Choose a card name other than a basic land card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile of that player shuffles, then creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand. That way, love Necromentia. Once you figure out what the heck these people are doing, take their crap. That is the point of this deck. You're going to have the mana for it. Take their crap. If they make a zombie, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to kill the zombie. Leyline of Void. There is 2. The sack combo decks are not my favorite decks. So with those running around, Leyline is absolutely necessary. It's going to exile their junk, and no more Cat Oven. Get that crap out of here. Ritual of Soot. If someone wants to go wide, let's take them all down. Don't give a crap. The End. This is another way to deal with strategies that you don't like, or strategies that are going to be harder for us to deal with. And no deck is perfect. Every deck has to pivot. I feel like if you know that you're dealing with a strategy that's going to be very going to put you on your back foot, put Necromentia and the End into the damn thing and let the deck go the way the deck does. Cruelty of Gix. Absolutely love this card. Once again, it's a beefy guy, and that is okay. 2 pips of black mana. Don't complain about it. This is one of the Read Ahead enchantment sagas. I was looking for something like this. I played it in another list. Love it. First, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card from it. That player discards their card. I think that's pretty damn good. Number 2, search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand. Then you shuffle. You lose 3 life. You're going to see that take place potentially in gameplay in this video. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It doesn't say from your graveyard, it says from a graveyard. Yep, pretty good. Pithing Needle, we know what the heck it does. That is the deck tech, folks. So now, let's move on and show you guys a little bit more gameplay if you guys are interested. Alright guys, so this is our second match with the deck. I threw this, well, I'm not going to say I threw this together, because as you can see from the deck tech, everything that I've put into this deck has a very specific reason. There's a reason. I'm not just throwing crap in here because I feel like it needs to be in here. I put it in here because it has to be in here to help fight against this metagame, and we're going to do it. Vampires is going to be viable. So let's get started with match number 1. Looks like we won the die roll here. Let's kind of scoot this over a little bit. Maybe you guys can see a little bit better that way. I'll do it like that. There we go. Playing against Merfolk. So this is a deck, we know how Merfolk goes. Merfolk is a deck that I play heavily in Modern. The Pioneer version is a lot different. It's different, but it's different in a good way. I like that Merfolk was able to pivot into Pioneer be viable as well. It's not at the top of the meta game, sure, but it doesn't have to be. If you have a good pilot, if you have somebody that knows how to play, I always say it's more important for you to know other people's decks. Know what the heck people want to do. I know that Vodalian Hexcatcher is huge. I know that Kumena Tyrant of Vraska is huge for these guys. I know that Deep Root Pilgrimage is huge for these guys. It's lots of things that make this deck work. One thing I did notice throughout this match is that my opponent never played an actual counter spell. So that was information that I was able to use to benefit me. Okay, we're going to play Sheoldred here. Like I said, they don't have any counter spells. The only thing that they're countering are non-creature spells. So let's see if we can kind of make a comeback here. They're exploring, trying to get something going. Witness protection. Oh my god, this is Merfolk's primary interaction against creatures on the board is going to be witness protection and what's the other guy? Eaten by piranhas. They basically do the same thing. Make your guy 1/1 dork that really can't do jack. Then getting out the Hexcatcher. Exploring a little bit. They're wanting to do something to some of our guys. They're getting out the battle bus, which is fine. See what we want to do here. We would definitely want to play Phyrexian Arena. You're going to have to sack your team if you want to make something happen. So they didn't want to do that. Eaten by Piranhas, one of the namesake cards, like I said. Sentinel of the Nameless City. So at this point, the opponent's definitely a little bit ahead. They're definitely a little bit ahead. I cannot block a Smuggler's Copter here. There's really nothing I can do about it. So we're just going to have to let it go through. They're getting to the point where they can draw cards. Their game plan right now is definitely going the way it needs to go. We go ahead and concede this match. So let's take a look at the sideboard here and see what you would need to side in against a match like Merfolk. So for me, I'm really thinking about cut down. I want low mana interaction at the beginning of the game. Ritual of Soot is good, but you don't need Ritual of Soot in this way. You don't need it, because by the time that you're going to be casting Ritual of Soot, our deck is pretty solid on getting the mana that it needs. But by the time you're going to get ready to cast it, it could be too late for you. Now, with that being said, it's not necessarily going to hurt us potentially, but I would say low mana interaction first, kill everything that they throw out. So with that being said, let's go to game number 2. They've kind of got us on our heels. Alright guys, welcome to game number 2. Blue-green Merfolk versus mono-black Vampire Devotion. Let's get it going. We're going to be on the play. We're keeping this hand. We've got what we need. We've got card draw. We've got Bitter Triumph. So, depending on what they put out, we're killing it. Draw into the Fatal Push. So, playing a land, we can expect a Hexcatcher here. No Hexcatcher, which is fine. Do a Gifted Aetherborn. Nah, Preacher of the Schism. Beautiful. Hexcatcher. Okay, so now let's see what they're going to do here. Copter. Fine. So now we're definitely going to attack him because we're killing anything that they want. Alright. Push the Hexcatcher. Get out Phyrexian Arena because they can't counter it. So now the game plan, we're fine with the way that this match is going right now. You know what? They make our our guy a legitimate business person, and that's fine. We don't care. Get rid of this fool. Smuggler's Copter. Probably gonna swing here. Yep, they go ahead and swing so they can draw a discard. They discard an extra Smuggler's Copter that they had in their hand. We can't do anything about it. That's fine. Arena trigger. Alright, We're rocking and rolling a little bit here, folks. Let's get our Vein Ripper and concede. So let's see, what did we put in from the sideboard? I'm curious about that. Okay, I put in 1 cut down. Okay, I see what I did. I sided out 2 Murderous Rider, both of the Sheoldred, and 2 Thoughtseize for 2 cut down and 2 Ritual of Soot. So we did go with the Ritual of Soot in the main board, and that's alright. That's alright. So got out the Vein Ripper. And at that point, it really wasn't going to be much that they could do. Depending on what they had in their hand, I'm doubtful that they had any interaction. I'm doubtful that they had another Witness Protection or another Eaten by Piranhas. So that's good. Vein Ripper is still making folks concede upon cast. Alright guys, match number 3, tied up 1-1. Mono Black Vampire Devotion versus Blue-Green Merfolk. Let's get into it. Keeping the sideboard the same, this is looking good. We've got 2 pieces of early game interaction. We've got Preacher, we've got Phyrexian Arena, drew another cut down. And so really quick, let's go ahead and pause because I want to explain why I did what I did. So why did I do Fatal Push or Cut Down? Why did I do Cut Down versus Fatal Push? Because early game, Cut Down is going to be better. Late game, after guys have started to gain, get more stats from Vodalian Hexcatcher and stuff like that, the creatures could potentially be too big, so therefore we're going to run out of range for our cut down because it's only total power and toughness 5 or less. That could easily change when you've got a couple of Vodalian Hexcatchers in play. So that's why we did a cut down early in the game versus a Fatal Push. We want to save that push if we can. Jade Light Spelunker. I don't necessarily care about this card. So what we've got 2 arenas in hand. We want to play the arena. We want to play that card. Okay, they get out Kumena, which is fine. We go ahead and smack down Jade Light Spelunker. We get arena down, committed to the battlefield. So now we're taking 4, which is fine. It's fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. Okay, let's get out Preacher. So now that we have something, so this is going to force them to play some type of interaction. Looks like they don't have anything. Because if they would have had it, then they would have done it, right? Okay, so we're going to push Mutavault. They're going to work to activate Kumena and start drawing cards, which is fine. But we definitely, if you have an opportunity to kill a Mutavault, then get rid of it because that's going to be mana. That's free mana removal. Phyrexian Arena. So now, this is where you want to play some stuff first. Like, let's not just go for the Ripper right away. Let's commit some things to the battlefield, set up more of a presence, and we want to go Bloodletter into Vein Ripper. Because we do have Nykthos out. They've got their Pilgrimage, they're going to start tapping these bad boys so that they can start making some dinks out here. So, let them do what they do. Merfolk doing Merfolk things, I don't mind it. Like I said, I play Merfolk, it's my second favorite tribe. Waiting on the opponent here. Okay. Arena, draw. Beautiful. Okay, we just pretty much didn't do anything that turn because we're wanting to see what these guys are going to do. I want to see what they're going to do. Okay, they're swinging with Kumena. He cannot be blocked. That's another ability that he can have. Draw another card. Okay, so now we've got something we can rock with. Got something we can rock with. And yeah, looks like the opponent has conceded from the game again. So knocked him down again, but let's just show what was about to happen, because I think I'm pretty sure the opponent knew what was about to happen here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had tons of mana available, so what I was about to actually curve into, if I was allowed to do so, curve into Vein Ripper, ETB, we're in. Edict, trigger Vein Ripper, gain 2, lose 2, and we were just going to keep recycling, do the whole thing. Bloodletter of Aclazotz is going to be absolutely huge, because at this point, if we would have swung, if next turn we would have swung with Bloodletter, Vein Ripper, and potentially Nighthawk Scavenger, 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 2 is 9 times 2 equals 18. The opponent would have been dead at that point. So beat Merfolk. So let's move on to another match. Alright guys, welcome to match number 3, Mono Black Vampire Devotion. Let's get into the gameplay. This is a keepable hand. We've got early interaction, and we can curve out as long as we draw some more lands, which we already have done. Let's Thoughtseize. Omnath playing Bring to Light. This is going to be a good test for the deck. Definitely going to be a good test for the deck. So I'm very excited to play this matchup. So let's see how we do. Fable. They're trying to get themselves some card advantage. Preacher. Having that 4 toughness on Preacher is freaking great. Freaking great. Dodges so many things. Doesn't dodge that, so that's fine. Treasure token for the other opponent, for the opponent here. Pillage the Bog. Love Pillage the Bog. Let's get out another Preacher. We're going to force you to use up your removal. Now they got Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Whenever they tap their lands properly, we're going to get an Omnath out. Oh, Bring the Light. Okay, what are we looking for? Valky. That's fine. Fatal push that guy. Let's go ahead and eat it. Get rid of Tybalt. Let's swing in. Trigger, get a Dork. So they've got 2 cards in hand. We've got 3 cards in hand. This is kind of where we want our opponent, but let's see what they're going to do with what they have in hand. Okay, Leyline Binding. They're going to take Preacher, which is fine because we have another one. Yep, Thoughtseize if we can. Get rid of Omnath. Get another Preacher out. They've got 1 card in hand, which is Lightning Helix, so we know what they've got. Bloodletter. Okay, so let's do nothing right now. Like I said, Bloodletter is easily the second best creature in the deck. Easy. We want to get this arena out at some point. We're going to do Scavenger first. They're cycling, which is good for us. Opponent's going to lose 4 life here because of Bloodletter's ability. Block 1 of these guys. Gain 2 or gain 1. Lose 2. Swinging in with the team here. Pretty bold attack, but that's okay. I think our board state is a little bit better than theirs. So we smack Arena down on the board. We don't, like I said when I was going through the deck tech, we don't necessarily care about loss of life because we have ways of getting that life back. Just using the dorks. Using the dorks. And we don't mind swinging because our creatures have Death Touch. Time for Vein Ripper. So let's do the thing. You're either going to block or you're going to take it. And if you take it, you're taking 4. Took 4. Okay, creating a copy of Gifted Etherborn, which is also fine. Create another copy. They're gonna have to go at the end of turn. Block 1. Vein Ripper trigger. Vein Ripper trigger from the other sacrifice. Vein Ripper trigger from the other sacrifice. So just like that, the game is turned around. Our turn. Now we're going to make them sacrifice something. We're going to get Shieldred out. Trigger. Vein Ripper trigger. Opponent down to 5. Swing with the freaking squad. Drawing into another Vein Ripper. Helix. Vein Ripper trigger. There it is. Got the victory against Omnath. So let's go to the next match. Alright guys, welcome to game number 2. So let's get it in. Let's get it in. Pretty decent hand here. We've got some early interaction. We've got the end sided in. We want to try to get rid of Omnath, Niv Mizzet. Those are the guys that we will be targeting with the end if the time comes. Thought seize these guys. Take Niv Mizzet. Pillage the bog. Okay, Preacher. Something for them to snipe off. Yep, Vanishing Verse. That was predictable. What we got here? We got 5 mana up. They could be casting either Omnath or, yep, there's Omnath. Which is one of the things we were waiting for from them. Cavern, naming Vampire. Let's go ahead. I was going to do this on their upkeep, and I just said screw it. Let's just get rid of this piece of crap now. Let's get out Nighthawk Scavenger. They got 4 cards in hand, so this is their time to kill it if they want to. Making us discard, so Lightning Helix, alright. So now we're trying to win this mid to late game battle. Niv Mizzet. I think we're going to Triumph here. We're just going to go down 3. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. See if we can try to get these people down a little bit. Fatal Push. I don't necessarily know. I'm pretty sure that was an accident, so it is what it is. BTL, bring the light. Get out another stupid Niv Mizzet. This is definitely a tough matchup because I feel like they're kind of in the same realm of game plan that we want to be in here. Mid to late game, very strong finishers. Value along the way. Fable. So at this point, I'm definitely going to say they're at the advantage right now. They're at the advantage. It is what it is. You can't win every match, but you need to know like why you're at an advantage or why you're at a disadvantage. Like they're abrupt decaying our guys. I'm going to get out a Bloodletter here. We're down to 8 life, so let's see what happens. If they kill Bloodletter, then pretty much a good game for us, and we're going to go ahead and go to game 3. Bring the light. Let's see what they get. Vanishing Verse. Yep, going to game 3, folks. Alright, folks, welcome to game number 3, Mono Black Vampire Devotion versus Niv to Light. Definitely had to mulligan that bad boy. That was a crap hand to begin with. Now we've got some interaction. That's always what I look for. I need at least a piece of interaction. I would like a creature, and Phyrexian Arena would be freaking great. So we can try to get some draw effects. So having Arena in the hand from the jump is freaking huge. We got Sheoldred's Edict, so we're feeling good. We're feeling good. If they commit something to the board that I give a crap about, then we can go ahead and get rid of that piece of junk. We got Up the Beanstalk here. So I think what we're going to do this turn, let's see. I think we're going with Arena. There it is. And now you see why I feel like 3 Arena is the perfect amount, because you don't necessarily want to have, like, at least at this point, I haven't been in a situation where I felt like I want multiple Phyrexian Arenas in play. 1 is good enough. So let's get Preacher of the Schism. This gives them something to kill if they would like to. We always want to give the opponent something to get rid of if they want to. So at this point, the opponent could Fatal Push our guy, but there is no Vanishing Verse or other stuff like that happening. Or they could potentially exile it with that enchantment, Leyline Binding. Okay. Drew a card and made a vampire token with the ability. Getting that Bloodletter here. Sacking the Passage. Getting an Island. Fable Trigger. Getting rid of a couple of things. What are they going to play? Bring to Light. So can we survive? If you can start surviving these Bring to Lights, then you're doing something right. Sunfall on us. Get rid of every freaking thing. That's okay. We have 3 Rippers in hand, so now it's all about deploying them, and that's if we want to deploy them. You don't have to. Right now, Cruelty of Gix, starting with 1. Let's reveal their hand. So, okay, so let's pause really quick, because that went really fast. So I want you to see the card that I made the opponent discard here. I made them get rid of Omnath here. Now, I saw in their hand Unmoored Ego. So Unmoored Ego is a card that I've played a lot in various decks. This card is the GOAT. It's basically the same as a Necromentia, and we do not want them to cast this card. If they take Vein Ripper, that's going to be pretty back-breaking for us. But I felt like the thing that I needed to take from them first was going to be Omnath. Maybe this was not the right decision. Time will only tell. Let's continue with the gameplay. Okay, Reflection of Kiki Jiki. They tapped their island, so that's huge. So that means they can't ego us. So that's a freaking relief. Niv Mizzet from Bring the Light. So now Phyrexian Arena. Then we're going to trigger Cruelty of Gix, which is going to be huge because we search for the Thoughtseize. This is why Cruelty of Gix is good. We're taking Ego. Now it's time for the big guy to come on freaking down. So now we're going to be playing the game. Do you want to kill this guy? Do you want to sack a guy and kill this guy? Which is fine. Omnath. But see, so in this case, I had to commit something to the board. So that's why Vein Ripper had to come out here. So if he needs to be on blocking duty, he can. Sacrifice a creature. Because of Ripper, they sacrifice the Kiki Jiki. Niv Mizzet swinging in for 6. Pillage looking for crap. So now Cruelty of Gix is going to trigger. We're going to get something from any graveyard and put it onto the battlefield. Choosing Omnath. I knew this was going to be huge because I was going to get to draw. Then we gain life. Edict. Get rid of a guy. The end. Get rid of freaking Niv Mizzet. And that's a good game. That is a good game. So you see the power of what we did with the Cruelty of Gix. This is why I keep the Cruelty of Gix in the sideboard. You get discard, you get a freaking tutor, and then you're returning something from any freaking graveyard to the battlefield underneath your control. Good doggone day, folks. Alright folks, so let's get into this last match in our tournament practice that we've been doing this little bulk of time. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the deck, been enjoying the commentary. Like I said, it's been a while since I've provided any commentary on anything, so please forgive me if things are rough, if my volume is kind of jank. Like I said, let me know. Things will be corrected in a future video. My upload is not always all the time. It's more or less whenever I'm playing heavily, and usually I'm playing a lot, but I may or may not be uploading things if I don't feel like I want to do so. So let's see what we're playing against in this match. This is our 4th match of this practice session. We're going to keep this. We got early interaction. We've got enough mana to do what we want to do. Get rid of that. So it looks like we might be up some type of Ensoul artifact deck. Let's get an Aetherborn out here, because we want to stop any potential bleeding. Shrapnel Blast, okay, that's fine. I'm going to take 3 here, go down to 14. Take their other Shrapnel Blast. Take 1. We're going to Edict here so that we're not taking as much damage, because they're all about getting in there quick. So let's try to slow them down a little bit here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get Bloodletter of Aclazotz out. Love this freaking card. I keep saying that, but it's a good card. It's a good card when it hits the battlefield. They couldn't do anything there, so we're going to play another one. This is going to be huge, the fact that we're playing 2 of them. Because at this point, as far as I'm concerned, we're back in this game 100%. Gifted. We're going to swing with both of these guys. Well, no, swing with 1. But we did 8 damage. Yep, and opponent scoops it up. Next was definitely going to be Sheoldra. We're going to get them to sacrifice one of their goblin creature tokens. So now we know what we're up against. We know that we're up against an Ensoul artifact deck. So let's go ahead and go to game number 2, shall we? Alright guys, game number 2, Mono Black Vampire Devotion versus Ensoul Artifact. Let's get into it. This was a very fun first match. They had me on my heels the entire freaking time. Let's look at this sideboard, because I'm curious what did I side anything out? I did. Okay, so took out 2 Murderous Rider, put in 2 Cut Down, and that's going to look like everything that I did. So therefore we're still running. We're going to still have our 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Fatal Push, 2 Cut Down, 2 Bitter Triumph, and 2 Sheoldred's Edict as our interaction package. I think that's pretty darn good. Let's get into the gameplay. Nope. Mulligan. This is good. Opponent playing some good games too. All the opponents today have been really strong, really good. It's been fun testing this thing out. Diamond Pickaxe, that's interesting. I'm gonna let him get in. Play another Swamp and pass. Nope. Nighthawk Scavenger, let's make you do something. Ensoul Artifact, not gonna block. Edict Time, swing it in for the 5. Ensoul Artifact again, they're going to get in. Sheoldred, make you sacrifice a creature, Planeswalker. Opponent down to 10. Shrapnel Blast, get rid of Shelly. With Bloodletter of Aclazot's down, we swing in for major damage because it's going to do it ×2. So we got the victory against Ensoul Artifact. So guys, that's been the gameplay from today. It's been a lot of testing on this list. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed what you've seen here. Yeah, this is what I'm working on. And like I said, we've got a lot of other great decks happening and being built and tweaked in the Vampires Discord, because we're not going to let Vampires die. Vampires is simply going to iterate. So guys, we're not dead. We're not dead. We're working. We're trying to find that next move, and I'm thinking this right here and more of what some of the other server members have got going. I think we've got a few next moves that are going to satisfy all of you vampire lovers' tastes. So guys, until next time, this has been Dapper from the Vampires MTG Discord server. Take it easy.